Hey Clear Lake peeps, Ross England here, Clear Lake Guide Service with your idling in report for this week, September 14th, 2023. Hope you all had a good week. Tell you what, it's actually been pretty quiet around here. I don't know if it's the price of gas, fishing, upcoming tournaments. I'm not sure exactly why, but ran across the lake this afternoon coming in and only saw one other boat. So, okay, let's get your specs real quick. Lake level, for all intents and purposes, we'll call it 3 feet. And it's dropped about 0.2 of a foot since last week. The lake has actually dropped almost exactly a foot in the last 4 weeks. So you can see that around the lake where you can see little algae line and whatnot. But overall, as far as the median of how full this lake usually is during the course of the recorded history, it's actually a foot higher than the median. So that's good news compared to the last 2 years. So water temperature starting out 74, ending up between 76, 77, depending on where I was. You can probably find cooler water in the morning somewhere, and you can probably find warmer water in the afternoon somewhere. Water clarity, honestly, like last week, it's really not that bad. And I spent quite a bit of time on the upper end of the lake down to the Narrows, got down near Monitor this week. And if you were in an area that there was a little bit of a breeze going into, you might see a little bit of an algae streak up on the surface. And a couple of places I saw on that would be west-facing shorelines down below the Narrows, I saw algae packed in pretty good. But it was like 2 or 3 docks worth of an area that was algae. The rest of it looked pretty good. Clarity, you could see 1.5 feet in a lot of areas. Some places just a foot. I didn't get into anything that I saw any clearer than that. But overall, I'm going to continue to say that I think the water looks pretty good for this time of year. So again, weed growth, it's fizzling out fast. I went down through some of Lucerne yesterday, and those of you that fish this lake this time of year know that usually that entire Lucerne shoreline has a weed bed that runs out almost 1/4 mile offshore. It's not there. It's just not there. So that's kind of the condition on the weeds. So let's see, we got all the conditions, temp, clarity, yep. Upcoming activities, I'm gonna mess this up, but anyway, it's Yakka Bass is this coming weekend, and as I understand it, it's like a 30-some odd hour event that starts Friday sometime, so it would obviously run through Saturday. And then I think there's another kayak event on Sunday. So for the most part this weekend, that's all you have to contend with are paddle boaters, kick boaters. So if you see them out there, give them a little bit of space, try not to run over them. Fishing report, it's been a rough year for me. First one to admit it. What's been different the last 2 or 3 weeks is I'm pretty happy with the weight of a 5-fish limit if we can put a 5-fish limit together. Every day we've got at least one fish that's 5 pounds plus. Last week it was a 6.5. Today it was a 5.5. We've got a couple of 4s that go with them each day. We were right at you know, between 19 and a half and 20 and a half pounds today for our best 5 fish. We did catch a couple of little short fish today, which I'm pretty excited about. Actually, we had quite a mix. Caught bass, red ear, and catfish. So we had the trifecta today. Good red ear. Our big fish today came on a drop shot off a dock. Most of the fish have been coming off of reaction baits. Actually, today's the first time that I've picked up a worm in probably 2 or 3 weeks. Those of you who know me probably won't believe that, but nonetheless, it's true. So I'm still hearing stories that, you know, of guys catching, you know, good numbers of fish along with the size. But it's one of those things that if you have to find a pile of them. And I can tell you so far this year, I haven't found a pile of them yet. I may have found them, but I found them at the wrong time when they weren't biting. Hard to say. So getting a 20-pound limit, if you can get 5 fish, is very doable. The question is, can you get 5 fish? So that's my report for this week. Before I crash into this dock up here, I'm going to cut it off, and we will talk to you next week. By the way, if any of you have any questions about any of these videos, a lot of times just go down in the comments down below, and a lot of people have added some really useful stuff, so don't be afraid to read the comments to get a little bit more information. With any luck, we'll see you next week.